So today is April the 14th, 2018. Welcome everybody to the Dreams in Motion debate. The topic today is it's more important to travel in your country first and learn more about your culture before traveling abroad or traveling overseas, okay, or traveling to other countries, okay? That's the topic. If you agree with that topic, again, you're going to join Team A. If you don't agree with that topic, you'll join Team B. And if you don't have an opinion and just want to be a judge, you will join Team C. It's important for judges to basically be here the whole time. So if you're going to be a judge, it's necessary to stay for the entire debate. I keep learning my lesson about some folks that say they're going to be here and they don't stay here. So it's important if you're on Team C to be here the whole time. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and I will go through the people who are here. I'll go through their names and we will go ahead and add you to teams. Okay. So, and I know right away, I know Sarah, you said you're going to listen. So let me go to Jamila. Jamila, what team would you like to join?
Team A.
Okay, so Jamila is on Team A. Thank you. Mary, how about you?
Since I even don't travel, I don't know which is really important. So how about on Team C?
Oh, great.
Good.
You are very reliable. Good, good. It's very important. Very important. Good. Okay. Moyu, how about you? What do you think?
Team B.
Oh. Oh. We're going to see a standoff. This might be more interesting than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Sene, would you like to join the team?
Yes, I would like to join Team A.
Oh, the Algerians on one team. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Sene. Christina, would you like to join a team?
I'd like to join Team A.
Okay, Moyu. We'll see how it's gonna go. Okay.
Moyu is alone.
So far,
Johnny.
we'll see what happens. Gran, would you like to join a team?
Yes, I would like to join Team B.
Oh.
Of company.
Oh. Johnny?
No, I'm not gonna participate today. I have to come and go all the time. So.
Okay. So you're gonna just be, I'll put an L next to your name, okay?
Yeah.
Aman, would you like to join the team?
Sorry guys, actually I don't join this because my here is party occasions, so that I visit to my father and another guys, my family, so that only I have only joined 20 minutes, so that I will not participate.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That's fine. If you have to step away because your family's having a party, I understand. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay. It's still nice to have you here, though. Okay. Okay. Let me go to Jared Karn. Jared Karn, you said you're gonna listen today.
Yes. Today I would like to listen only, teacher.
Okay. Sure. And again, nice to have you back. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we have the teams, small teams for now, but sometimes quality is more important than quantity. So let's begin. Let me go over the teams that we have picked, okay? So on Team A, excuse me, we have Jamila, Sene, and Christina. Team B, we have Moyu and Gran. And Team C, as the judge, is Mary. Okay. And then if we finish early, which I think we will finish early, we'll have some opportunity to talk more about traveling. We did a little bit yesterday. We had a good discussion about traveling and relaxing. But I would like to actually, I have some questions for Christina and Mary specifically that I think might be interesting, okay? So let's start with Jamila, you're first. See, you guys should learn. Don't be
Yeah,
the
I
first
should
ones to
definitely.
join. Okay, it's like never again volunteer yourself. That's the Navy. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think obviously I could have joined both teams, but to be honest, I joined Team A because of my personal experience. I did not have a lot of opportunities to travel in my country, and I think that's a shame, especially because I had the opportunity to travel abroad, and now that I live in France, I can tell how much I missed because when we travel for different reasons. Because we want to discover, right? New things. It's a learning experience. We also travel to make friends, right? To also discover cultural diversity. And I do believe that it is always better to start in your country because I think all the people we have here, we all have so much diversity in our countries. So for example, me, even today, I still don't know so that much about my country. And this is very unfortunate. I mean, I discovered a lot in France, but when I came here, the first question that people were asking me, tell me about your country, right? Tell me about the cultural diversity. Tell me about your traditions. Tell me about the people you have in your country. Tell me about the best places to visit. What do you like most in your country? So I think it's always good to keep in mind that when we travel, it's not only, I mean, for ourselves. It's also to be an advocate for our country. So if you have not traveled in your country before, it will be very hard. Because, for example, when you go to other countries, I mean, obviously, we want people to teach us things, but I think it's also good to teach other people about your country. So, for example, me, when I say I am from Algeria, and when I hear some people say, okay, where is this? Where is your country? So I want to be in a position where I can give them as much information as I can. And to be honest, the problem I think with globalization is that people tend to look in the wrong direction, meaning that, for example, when it comes to travel, in most cases, let's just take the example of both African countries and the people there. They all want to travel to European countries. They all want to go to the US. Well, you have a lot of beauty in your country. You have a lot of beauty in North Africa. You have a lot of beauty in Algeria, in Morocco. Just do that first as the first step. And then when you go to European countries, I think you will be much more, you'll be very well equipped, first of all, to talk about your country. You will know your home, and it gives you another perspective. Because to me, what's unfortunate, especially with young people, whenever they travel to European countries, they stay there and they never go back to their countries. And I think one thing to avoid that, to make sure young people go back to their countries, is to invite them to learn more about their home country. So, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, very well said. Very interesting perspective. Very interesting, and it's nice that you kind of related it to your own personal experience. I think sometimes we're most effective when we take that approach. Okay, before we go to Moyu on Team B, Tia, did you want to join a team? Tia? Hello? Tia? Okay, maybe she's not around. Okay, we'll go ahead and go to you, Moyu. Would you like to join? Oh, I'm sorry, you're already on the team. Can you begin, please?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
For me, I believe if I have opportunity, I would like to go the abroad country, not only the abroad, but as the farthest, the most, I don't know, the away countries. I will start like Brazil if I get an opportunity to go around, and then maybe Africa, Asia, something like that. Because nowadays they talk about a lot of things like globalization. So whenever you go just another country, whenever you see the culture, the way they live, the language, if you learn the language, you are becoming international citizen. You're becoming just knowledgeable about the other countries. So, and that in itself brings opportunities, business opportunities, and this kind of stuff. For example, in my country, we are a poor country, so a lot of Somalis went to abroad long time ago, like the USA, Europe, Arab countries, and now when they come back new skills, new business, the new way of doing things, and they set up a world-class hotels in Mogadishu, and also they bring a new food. By that, they are making a lot of money. They are making absolutely a lot of money. Also, what they did, they set up very good hotels alongside the sea, alongside the beach. So it is the view, the kind of view they are giving is so beautiful. And we didn't have that before a few years back because we are only in Somalia. But by the time they went out and they see the way the other countries living, the way the building hotels, they just transfer that business into Somalia. And that's good for the country, for themselves, for everyone. So absolutely, I like globalization and that kind of stuff because the opportunity it brings, the knowledge, something like that. And also, I like Apple because most countries are not so big like China. Maybe if you live in China, you don't need another country because you are so big. But the average countries on this world are small, smaller than Somalia. It is like 6,000 kilometers and smaller than that. And people are, on average, are like maybe 20 million, 30 million. So the country is not so big. And whenever you go out, you didn't get that diversity of culture. So I like to go abroad because that reduces the cultural sensitivity. For example, I have been to South Sudan once. South Sudan is a newest country in Africa, and everything is so new to me. Everything so amazing. I couldn't believe the way they talk, the way they address, and that reduced my I don't know how to say it, but my cultural sensitivity. Nowadays, I'm no longer sensitive to the foreigners. Whatever they eat, whatever they say, because I saw that and I accepted. I said to myself, oh, but in most countries, you didn't get that diversity. Cultural diversity is smaller. It's not like China or India where it is like a continent. In Africa, if you come to Africa, in my country, it is not that big. And most countries in Somalia, I think it is in terms of the size of the countries, it is like the 30th or 40th, something like that. Many countries are smaller than even Somalia in terms of culture, and many countries, they share the language. So, that diversity of culture, we didn't have in my country that diversity of culture. So I wanted to go abroad to witness that diversity of culture and language and everything. So yeah, because of that reason, I like to go abroad. The second thing is that also, they say is adventurous. For example, in my country, and most of the countries, if you just take a trip in your country, it's not so adventurous because you learn in school everything about the geography, the rivers, everything, the seas, about it already. So when you get to whatever you want in your country, it is not that amazing because you already know. You're already just aware of that. But if I now go to Brazil or Argentina or Mexico, where there's nothing I know about it, everything I see there should be amazing to me because I just have no idea about that. The rivers, the landscape, whatever they have, the language. So yeah, also, and the other way also it is because that enhances, if you have been to other countries, that can improve, enhances your creativity. Like Somalis now they are talking about. In my country, we are well known about the other countries because we have been going abroad for many years. So if you just see, if you compare 2 or 3 people who one of them have been to many countries, but other two have never been to, you will find that guy. It is so creative because the other countries he visited, and also that opens the mind. That opens the mind. He's so knowledgeable. So that brings creativity, and also it's educational. It is educational in most countries. In your country, if you go to school, you already learn everything in school, the language, the culture, the geography. But in other countries, it's so educational. Everything is new. Also, always the opportunities that will bring, and also it is easier to go around your country. There's no fees and nothing. But if you get the opportunity to go another abroad, you will never miss it. Never miss it because it is so rare to get that opportunity. But in your country, everything is so easy. You want to just yeah. Sorry for. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. No.
Yes.
You did a good job. You did a good job.
Yeah. Also, let me tell this. Also, I talked about the amusement in culture. Yeah. That's all I want to say. Yeah, that's all I want to say.
Okay, you did a good job. You definitely always have something to say. You always have something to say, that's for sure. And you do a good job. Very good job. Okay, let me go ahead. So Alireza has joined us. Alireza, would you like to join the team? Hello, Alireza? Okay, maybe he's away. Let me go back to Team A. So Seni, why did you choose Team A? Please tell us.
Hello.
Yeah.
My A passed this time. I will call you later. Okay.
Okay.
What you doing there? Just for a few minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, friend.
Okay.
I will.
Okay. Well, we'll go to Christina. Christina, why don't you tell us why you chose Team A? Please.
Well, in my opinion, I want to choose travel in our country first, and then travel abroad because of the main reason. Firstly, when we travel in around our country, we can understand more and more about the history of the places which we are visiting, and we have a more opportunity to understand deeper about the history of our country, and through the history of our country, we can bring it to introduce with the foreigners when they travel in our country. So we can introduce with the foreigners that where's the most beautiful places, and the characteristic of the local people. Yes, and the second reason is through this travel we can study about the customs of the places we are visiting. For example, in my country, Vietnam, there are 54 ethnics, and we have 54 languages, and each ethnics have different languages, and through this through this trip we we can learn about this language. Yeah. Today we are living in the modern society, and I think that we don't need to go abroad. We just need to stay at home and study the foreign language through the internet. I think it's okay. Um, and yeah, and that's all about my opinions. And thanks for listening.
Okay, well done. Very well done, Christina. Interesting. 54 different ethnic groups, huh?
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. That's a lot. Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know the one, the Vietnamese.
Okay. So let's go ahead and let me see. So Jamie, you have joined us. Before we go to you though, Marissa joined us as well. So hello, both Marissa and Jamie. So Marissa, would you like to join a team?
Yeah, probably A, I think.
Okay, so let me write you down for A. Jamie, would you like to join a team?
Okay. More important to travel abroad. Yeah. Travel with my friends.
Which team would you like to
travel company first and learn about the country first and then travel. Yeah.
So you want to join Team B?
Yeah.
Okay, so you believe that going abroad is more important than traveling around your own country?
Well, actually, both, but I think, yeah.
Well, so it's either yes or no.
Oh, yeah, traveling abroad, yeah, because you don't.
Okay,
you
so
culture.
Okay, so I'll put you on Team B with Moyu and Grant, okay?
All right.
Okay,
Hi,
and
guys.
Marissa's on Team A. And Ola Reza, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Ola Reza, do you want to pick a team?
Yeah, I would like to pick a team and give me a minute to think about it.
Okay, why don't we do this? When you pick a team, just go ahead and do me a favor, type your team response in the chat box, and we'll go ahead and move on. Since we're adding more people, I just want to make sure everybody gets a chance to speak. Okay, so now we're going to go, Grant, we're going to go to you. So can you tell us why you chose Team B, please?
Yes, why not? Actually, the reason is when we travel somewhere, whether our own country or we travel around the world, there is always a reason. And the reason that, you know, as per my mind, the reason most of the time is something like learning new language or learning about new traditions and new cultures, and you know, looking for business opportunities or looking for job opportunities, or you know, learning something means going to a college or university or something like this. So if I talk about my own country, so in my own country the population is too large, and as the person from Vietnam said that there are many ethnicities in her country, so same is the case here in my country also. There are many ethnicities here in my country and many different languages are spoken in my country. But still, there is one thing. If I go around my own country and I try to figure out how many languages are there and what language is spoken, what way, what is the grammar, what are the lexical items, and what is this and what is that. So I think this will not benefit me in any way or in any mean. But if I travel around the world, so definitely this can help me out a lot. I can broaden up my horizon of knowledge, and I can learn many things. Because if I want to learn about my own country, cultures, different cultures and traditions and languages, so this is possible within my own city, because in one country we have many cities, and in every city almost people from every language and every ethnicity and every religion and means all parts of the country, people are here. So if I would like to know about any of the languages or traditions or any of the customs, or I would like to know about any of the you know, religions that are practiced within my country, so I think my own city is enough. Like I will just go around walking from street to street and market to market and meet different people, and in this way I can learn about different languages and different ethnicities and different you know, religions that are practiced within my country. But for example, there are some religions that are not present here in my country. For example, Buddhism. Like Buddhist people, I have never seen in my country, and many Christian people I have not seen in my country, and Jewish people I have not seen in my country, and there are many others who I have never seen. So I cannot learn anything about these people within my country. So I will have to go abroad. This is one thing. And next, the languages that are spoken in my country, I think they are not, in any means beneficial, or they cannot be in any means beneficial for me, because globally there are many languages spoken all over the world, and the international language we have, such as English, and then we have other very important languages. So if we spend our time learning and understanding those languages that are spoken in many parts of the world, like English, Chinese, and French, and German, and Russian, and some other very important languages and very dominating languages. So this would be better. So why to waste time learning something that is not important or least important? So therefore, I think that traveling around the globe is better than traveling around the country. And when it comes to the expenses, so people around the world, whether they live in first world countries, or they live in second world countries, or third world countries, they always have limited resources. So within our own resources, I think this is better to choose the best option, and the best option is international travel. And within international travel, we can learn a lot of things, and we can benefit a lot in many cases, on the basis of monetary benefits, on the basis of education, on the basis of religion, culture, or anything. So whether it is some materialistic benefits we are seeking, or we are seeking some kind of knowledge, so both of these are possible internationally, like with international travel, not a domestic travel. And domestic travel needs the same expenses, I think, that we require for international travel. So it is better to invest in international travel rather than invest in domestic travel. So this is the reason why I chose Group B.
Okay, very well said, Gran. Very well said. Good job. Very good job. Very interesting, too. We'll have a chance to discuss some more things when we finish the debate, because you guys all have said interesting things that I personally would like to learn more about. Okay, Marissa, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think it's better to look round and go to different places in your own country first, and then you can appreciate some of the parts of your own country that aren't necessarily near where you live, and where people might say somewhere looks really nice and it's got good scenery, or somewhere there's got a lot going on, or whatever, even in your own country, but because it's in a different part to where you are, you wouldn't know for yourself unless you go there. And I mean, there's one part that I go to every year, and I really enjoy it, and it's a part that lots of people say it looks really natural, and it's really nice for people to go to for different reasons, and there's some nice walks there, and the beach isn't too far away and things, and I always enjoy it. And also, when you've been to different places in your own country, you can appreciate your own history and heritage. And then, even like someone said, in most countries now you meet a lot of people that are from other countries, so you can learn about them at the same time. And then once you've been to different places in your own country and appreciated that, then when you do go to other countries afterwards, it helps you to appreciate them more, and their culture and languages and things more, because you've seen more of your own country than just where you go to every day or every week. And also, it can be easier for some people just to go to places in their own country because maybe they've got families and work and or they can't go away for too long if they're not very well and things, and they like to go away, but they can only get to other places in their own country, and a lot of people these days can't afford to. They haven't got enough money to go to all these other countries that they'd like to go to, and although some might do for their work and things, and sometimes people's own situations make it only possible to go to different places in their own country, otherwise they wouldn't be able to get away at all because they haven't got the money or they've got family and work, and sometimes they might have different illnesses or conditions that where they can't be away for too long, and sometimes it's easier as well because everyone talks the same language and you're using the same money and currency and things, but at the same time when you can go to other countries as well, it makes you be able to appreciate things there even more because you've had more time in different parts of your own country as well.
Okay. Alrighty, Marissa. Very well done. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, your English is so awesome. Okay. Mm-hmm. It must be that UK accent. Okay. No, but very interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting perspective. Okay. So thank you, Marissa. Let's go. Jamie, now it's your turn.
All right. Well, okay.
Mr. Jamie.
Okay. Well, well, I've been thinking about this. Yeah, I've been to most places in my country, in the United States, and they're all good. But I think it's more important to travel abroad, to broaden your horizons. And in fact, Grant, I have a lot of people from your country. Pakistan is one of the countries I'd like to visit because I have seen from pictures of your country from my friends like Hyderabad, Jhelum, yeah, and Karachi, and that's one country I'd like to visit. Also Japan, because I have friends there too, and there are a lot of beautiful places there. And there's also a saying, one can you should I think you should broaden your horizons, not just stay in your own country, because you see you can see your country anytime you wanted to, but traveling abroad is definitely good. If you speak many languages, you can practice with people from that country, and you can learn. Like someone said, you can learn about the world and just learn to appreciate yourself and learn to appreciate other people more. So that's why I think traveling abroad is also very important. So thank you. Thanks.
Okay, Jamie, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So let's go back to Team A. So Seni, are you able to speak now, Seni? And also, I see Hiroki has joined us. Hiroki, did you want to join a team?
No, thank you. Go
okay.
on.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, so
Hello?
Seni, yes, Seni, Did you want to tell us what you think?
Sure. Yeah, everybody listening. So I'm shaking right now.
Oh.
So,
you'll be fine.
Wow.
You'll do well, yeah.
Wow.
You'll be fine.
So from my perspective, I think when I traveled back in Algeria, in Sahara and other places, I discovered a lot of things. So when you know exactly what's happening in your country, what do you do, how do you travel, you will be, when you go outside, you will be like an ambassador to your country. So you will discover your native land. You will discover your own culture.
Yeah.
I'm sorry here. I got stuck.
No, just take your time. Take your time.
No, you're doing well, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks God we can see you, huh? That would be worse.
I don't know why.
Come on, Jamila.
So, go ahead.
I said from my experience, the first time I haven't been able to go outside of Algeria. But when I traveled in Algeria, I discovered a lot of things, as I said. So I saw people from Sahara like Tuareg. They are very awesome people. I discovered the history of my country throughout those people. I discovered the Amazigh. I discovered the other Arabic people in Algeria, and I never thought Algeria was very wonderful like that.
Okay.
So,
Okay, very nice. Very interesting. And I think, Sene, you're from a large and obviously Algeria has a lot of diversity, right?
yes, Algeria has a lot of diversity. Also, I discovered when you travel in your country, as an example, I discovered a place in Tipaza. I saw a Roman ruins there. It was very fantastic. And I asked about the history of that place. It was wonderful. I got a lot of ideas, but I don't know how to give them to you. I'm sorry, my friends.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I think you've done a good job. You've done a good job, Sene. Okay.
So I do have another thing. So when you travel inside your country, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Maybe you will use your car, your own car, and it will come on to you very cheaper than going outside of your country. Okay, this is my idea. I think that's all. I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing that with us, Sene. You did good.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done, Sene. Well done.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go now to Alireza.
Hello, Ressa. Hi.
Hello, Jamie.
Hi, Ressa.
Hey, Jamie, how are you?
Good.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Okay, glad to hear that, man.
Okay, so Alireza,
Yeah.
So can you tell us, please?
Yeah, I do agree with Team A because when we're traveling around our own country, we know about our people, our places, our culture, and when we do travel after that, when we do travel, abroad, we understand what is the differences between our own culture and their culture, and those comparisons, give us some choices to make our own life much better and use them, and it is good. To travel both to know different things, and I do agree traveling in our own country to know something about ourselves, and it is great. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you, Alireza. Thank you for that short and concise response. So, Tia, did you want to join a team before your battery dies on your phone? Tia? Tia? Okay, maybe she's not here. Okay. So let's go ahead and go. Mary?
Yes.
You are the judge. I hope you have a good memory what everybody said, okay?
It's very good. It's very good to make my decision since both teams have done very good job. I like their ideas. Like Team 1, Jamila said after she traveled abroad, she learned that she missed a lot in her country, and she also thinks when she could not answer questions when she visit some people in other countries about her country, and I do agree it's important to communicate. It can improve your skill to communicate with other country people, to share the culture, the people, and even any reason in your country. I agree with that. And I also like the then in this give like that. Traveling abroad can give you more chance, and you can learn more from other country. You can get the best. Why do you spend and waste some time within just a country? And the world is you do not have enough time or energy to serve all places in your country and with the larger part of the world. I like that idea. And Chin A also said that the travel fee is really lower spending within its own country. I agree. And if people have finance problem, it's really the truth. Since I have never traveled to any countries, and my dream is to travel to other countries. Is if I can choose the team, if I can choose to travel, probably I would like to travel to other countries to learn something new. You know, since we live in our country and we have brought up in our country, even you do not travel, you can learn something about your country. And Jamila said she knows what she missed in her country just because she traveled to other countries. And of course, if she had not traveled to any other countries, probably she would not have known that much. And she has missed in her country. So I think traveling abroad is important, not any less important than traveling its own country. It's not difficult for me to make my decision. So, Rick, would you please help me?
Well, wait. No, you have to make a
You
decision.
do it yourself.
You have to
do
make
it
a
yourself
decision.
here.
So the way to look at this, the way to evaluate which team did a better job is think in terms of the two teams. Which teams provided the most examples? Think about the teams that provided the strongest argument. Think about the team which provided any statistics, any data, any personal experience, right?
Yes. If I have to choose a team, I would vote for Team B.
Oh,
All right.
Team B.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we heard from the judge. Here comes the judge. Mary
That's
chose
it.
Team
Mary
B.
was the only judge. Wow.
Yeah, we made, and we. I'm sorry, we forced you to choose. Okay, we forced you. We
Yeah,
made.
I was forced. I didn't want to choose. You know, it was so hard.
You know, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, tell you, people think being a judge easy, but if you do it right, it's not
No,
easy.
not that easy.
Because you have to really think carefully about what people said. You have to think about
And
the
I really
argument.
learned a lot from two teams, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. So what we'll do now is before we open it up for a general discussion, I want to go ahead and provide some feedback to what some people said, because I thought that both teams provided some very interesting information. And I just have a few questions I would like to ask both teams.
Sure.
Then we'll go and open it up to the folks that haven't spoken yet and get their opinions on the topic, okay? Or general related topic. So it was interesting to me, first of all, Team A brought up a lot about, you know, learning the culture, learning the history of our own native country. And it's interesting, some things that Moyu said, and then something Christina said, which I thought was very fascinating. What I heard was Moyu said, for example, that, you know, and even I think Grant said, you said the same thing. So basically what you're saying is that in your country, there isn't a lot of, it's very homogenous. It's not very diversified. So it's hard to learn about different things inside your country, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And because the countries can be, in some cases, smaller, there's not so much diversity. But if you go, Vietnam's not a large country. It's not a big country. But we heard from Christina, where, for example, in her country, there are 54 different ethnic groups, 54 different languages. So in a country that's relatively small, there's a lot of diversity, okay? So that was kind of an interesting point that came up where you heard, some people say that their countries, there's not that much diversity. Grant, you brought up the point that from a religious standpoint, for example, in Pakistan, the majority of people are Muslim. You don't have...
Yeah, it's like 97% is Muslim.
So if you want to learn about these other people that practice these other religions, for example, maybe you need to be in a different country to learn more about their different faiths, okay, as an example.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. And I think Hiroki, because Hiroki's here, I think people would make the argument, even in Japan, that there's tends to be a homogenous society. So, that part was really interesting, hearing how you guys talked about that. The other part I thought that was interesting was the idea that Team B was trying to emphasize, which is that, I'm sorry, Team A, which is that if you want to be an ambassador, if you want to represent your country, you need to know your country, right? So when you go to another country and you travel around the world, if you want to think of yourself as an ambassador of your country, and people often will ask those questions, they will say, hey, where are you from? I'm from here. Oh, tell me about it, right? So it's a natural thing for people when you're in a different country to ask you questions. So if you say, well, I don't know that much, I haven't traveled that much, it might not come across so great. So it is important to learn about our countries. Some of us, for example, Jamie and I come from a very diversified country. Marissa, the UK is very diversified. You have a lot of immigrants in the UK. Okay.
Yeah. The reason why I wanted to choose both, right? Because I have seen there are places I've been to in this country I want to see more. But there are other places in the world that I'd like to see. Someone asked me why I chose Team B. Mostly because all of you, of course, most of you come from different countries. And I want to see some of those countries like Japan, Algeria, Vietnam. Then I speak some of the languages, and I want to see if I can be understood in those countries. So anyway.
Yeah, well, I think it's and Marissa, I think you would agree, right? The UK is very diversified these days, right?
Yeah, a lot more now. Yeah.
Yeah. So for a lot of people, if they're in London, or if they're in some other major metropolitan area in the UK, I mean, it's like kind of like being in Los Angeles or New York. That maybe you don't even feel like you're, you might feel like sometimes you're in the Philippines because of, the Philippine food stores or restaurants, or, you could go to Chinatown, or so we have these large segments of people that have immigrated here that kind of bring a unique experience from their own culture into our cultures here. So that, again, you can live in a country where maybe there is not so much diversity. Okay, maybe there isn't. China. Okay, Mary. I know people say that China, is all the same, but in the Han Chinese are the predominant ethnic group. But there are many different ethnic groups in China. Right?
Yes.
What's it called? The Uyghur in northern part by Tibet, right? There are many different. Go ahead. Well, no, I was just saying that even people say that China, many countries and small countries again, like Vietnam, like Christina brought up. So anyway, I just wanted to say that I thought it was very, very interesting, and the different perspectives that people had, I thought was very, very interesting. So I just wanted to share that. Why don't we go ahead and open it up to those that have not spoken yet, which includes Saif has not spoken, Hiroki has not spoken. Anybody here would like to add anything? Johnny, I don't know if you're here right now. Johnny?
Hiroki, tell them about your time here. Tell them about your time here.
Yes, so for this topic, I think both are important, and I don't say which is maybe it's up to the person or experience. But in my experience, how can I say? Right after I came back to Japan, I stayed. I have to stay.
Tell them where you tell them where you were here in the States.
Yeah. So sorry. So after I have to stay the hotel
In Georgia. In Georgia. He was in Georgia.
Japan, in rural area, and not so rural, but anyway, in the morning I walk down the street. Ordinary Japanese. It's a bit rural area, so ordinary Japanese traditional house. I saw also in a hotel garden, a Japanese style garden.
Yeah, but
So,
tell them that when
let
you
me finish, Jimmy.
Sorry.
Let him finish, please.
All right.
Go ahead, Hiroki.
So traditional style house garden, it was displayed. It's a small garden, and before I went to America, I think I just ignored that beauty. But at that moment, I thought, "Wow, beautiful! Japan is beautiful." So I found Japanese beauty at that time, actually. So because of my experience in America is beautiful, but it's different quality of beauty. So thanks to I went to America, I became to be able to compare with these two maybe cultural beauty. So maybe sensibility in my case boost up after I go abroad. Maybe if I didn't go abroad, I didn't notice such things. Maybe it's just a kind of usual local house or something like that. Also, it's just a usual small Japanese garden or something like that.
Yeah. Haruki's not. Do you mind if I tell him where you went in America, Haruki? Haruki, when he came here, he went to Georgia in Athens, and I told him, you were in the Bible Belt. I'm surprised no one came up to you. I'm surprised no one came up to him and tried to convert him, because he was in the Bible Belt. I told him that if he came here to the north, the culture is very different. Down in the Bible Belt, they were like, "Oh, hallelujah, hello, you want them to say it, hello, glory, hallelujah, convert you." And it's like very Bible Belty down there, very southern, very religious. Up here, it's not. It's very relaxed. We don't try to convert everybody. But that in the Bible Belt, there's like a church on every other corner.
Okay. Well, I guess something that Hiroki said, though, I think is really important, and what I liked about what he said is that when we travel abroad, it does give us a maybe an increased appreciation that otherwise we don't normally have. And it could be very basic. It could be very, very, the availability of restrooms, clean restrooms, right?
Yeah.
Bathrooms, okay? Toilets, okay? It could be something when, and Mary, this is no comment, but when I was in China, for example, they, when you go to a restaurant, nothing is free. If you want a paper towel, you have to pay for it, okay?
Yes.
So you can learn a lot, and you can gain an appreciation not only for the place you visit, but you can gain an appreciation of your home place, of your hometown, of your native country. So that's something I think, Hiroki, that you're saying is that when you came here, you got a chance to see the the natural beauty and the geography, but it gave you an appreciation when you went back to Japan for some of the traditional style outdoor areas, right? The gardens and stuff, right? The houses.
I've told him if he'd gone to the north instead of Georgia, the culture up here is way different. They joke in the South that everybody's related to everybody, and that's not true. But up here in the north, the life is more relaxed, and in the South, in the South it's more relaxed. Up here it's like crazy, but in the south, there's a lot of beauty. There's it's tranquility.
Mm-hmm.
And language.
Yeah. Well, not the. It's just a dialect, Turkey, and like what he's talking about is like here we'd say hello Rick, how's it doing? How you doing? You'd say hello Rick, how you all doing? I'm trying to teach Turkey how to speak Southern. It's going well. What?
Manisha sound.
Yeah.
Manisha sound is very strong there.
You do better than I do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, why don't we? Okay, so thank you, Hiroki, for sharing that with us. Anybody else have something that they want to add in addition to what they already said? Anybody that hasn't spoken yet? Let me think.
Okay.
I guess actually. So let me see. Jirkarn, I don't know if you're available to speak yet. Maybe not. Other folks that want to add a little bit more to what they said. I know, Mary. What's your opinion? Since you're the judge, what did you have to say?
Oh boy.
For me, I do want to improve my knowledge, and of course, I would like to go abroad first and to learn something new, to widen my eyesight, and then probably I will appreciate what I have not learned in my country. Like, I wish I would have this chance, since I have never had the chance to travel for both reasons. One, the major reason is my blindness. I have to accept it. And the second one, it's because of my blindness. So I am in, probably I can say a financial situation or condition, right? So I can't afford to pay. Even, a friend of mine in Singapore invited me so many times to visit her in Singapore. She said she would like to pay for my ticket to Singapore, but I did not want to use her money to travel. As people say, in our country, in your own country, you have a lot of things to learn. You have every country and has a lot of languages to learn. Like in China, Mandarin is our official language, but each place has its own dialect. People in the same country cannot understand. If we spend all of the time to learn languages just around you, probably it would spend all time of your life. So you would not have a chance to learn languages from other country. Since we are in the same country and we can use the same language, Mandarin, to communicate, and we even do not need to learn their dialect. So to learn something new in other places, right? If we visit a place, we always can find people speak Mandarin to us, and without the language, of course, if we can learn some local language, it will improve our communication skills. It's the same as Christina said, we can learn international things online. It's not, she said it would not make any difference, but I think it's not the same. Probably just because we make ourselves feel happy, because we would not have that much chance to travel. So it's the excuse to make ourselves feel.
And like I said before, I mean, someone has asked me earlier why don't I want to visit other countries. I mean, it's because since I joined here in Dreams of Ocean, I've met people from other countries like Iran, Pakistan, Algeria, Japan, and I've always been interested in other countries. It's not good just to learn about your own. I mean, you should learn about your own country, but there are 197 countries in the world. if you can, at least visit a few of them.
Well, let
And-
me.
Sorry.
Yeah, let me ask you a question real quickly. I want to ask a question to Marissa, Mary, and Christina, because all three of you are blind. And
Yes.
how does that impact your, and I apologize if this seems sensitive or if it comes across as being sensitive, but how does it impact your ability to travel? Does it a lot? Or do you feel like you're still able to do traveling if you want to? I know, Mary, you said that you think
it's not offensive to me. I can answer your question. I don't mind at all. For me, I guess if I have to, I can travel alone. But since people around me, my family members and my friends, take a really good care of me, so I have never had a chance to go outside alone.
Okay.
I always have someone with me when I am outside of my home. So, but I'm sure I can do it. Since in China, among my friends, my classmates who were in the same school for the blind could go outside alone, and I found that he went outside alone without any help, and he even didn't need a white can to help him. Of course, I learned from a lot of my friends who are blind. They think, and sometimes having a white can just a sign to tell sight people that I am blind. So you need to pay attention to me, not to bump into me, right?
Okay. Well, Marissa, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, it makes it really difficult as well, because that's why I've only been to places in this country lately, because we used to, when I was with my family and everyone was all together, we used to go abroad. But now that I'm on my own and that, if I want to make the most out of going anywhere, I need to have one of my support workers with me, and then I need to pay for their travel and everything and accommodation at the same time as me, and that makes it really expensive even in this country. So I just wouldn't be able to afford anywhere else as it is. I can only go, other than going to my mum's, I can only afford to go out to this one weekend every year because I don't get much money, and then it just means that I have to, when I book my train tickets, I have to get one for whoever goes with me as well, and then help towards their accommodation and meals and things, and it just makes it really expensive. So I already have to save up quite a lot to do that every year. And I know some people that go to the place on their own, and like someone was saying, with organisations and that, but then even with some of the organisations, you end up with someone that you don't really know, and that can be quite difficult. I mean, this time, they were in the hotel where we're staying now, there were only twins rooms left, and because I know the lady that I'm going with quite well, she didn't mind sharing, but other times it would cost a lot more for you to buy 2 separate rooms as well if you don't really know the person and things. And me and my friend have always gone with someone because the grounds in the hotel are quite big, and where we go to do the practices, you have to go outside and down, and it's quite difficult to get to on our own. And also we don't want to be stuck in the hotel all afternoon because we can't go out anywhere, and we always say that if we're going somewhere, we want to make the most of it and get to know the area and go into town and that. So we like to have someone with us to be able to do that as well, because some of the other people that do go on their own, they have to rely on either the staff at the hotel or some of the other guests to take them down to where we do the practices, and then they're ended up in the hotel all afternoon or in their rooms or in the bar. And I just think, well, what's the point in going away, and if you're just going to stay cooped up inside every day, and you can't get
Right.
out
Yeah,
and
yeah,
about.
yeah.
So that's why I like
Okay.
to do that. Yeah.
Well, let me. You bring up two important points. Well, before I ask you this, before I talk about the points you bring up, you and Mary, Christina, what is your opinion on this? What do you think?
Well, for me, if I have a solo travel, I think it's very difficult for me to go out. But to book a hotel room or book a ticket or book the flight ticket, I think it's very easy because through the smart devices, I can do everything. I can.
Are you okay? Take a breath. Take a breath.
I can book the flight ticket online, yeah, and also book the hotel room online too, and book the tour online too. And if I want to travel, I think I need to go to travel with my family or my friend. Yes, of course, sighted friend, and I think nothing impact on my trip because I've traveled many different places in my country, and I think nothing important. If I have the help of the members in my family or friends, yeah, nothing important. Yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to, and the reason I asked you guys that question, I guess you girls, you gals, okay, that question was because, we often, again, we can take things for granted sometimes and not always appreciate some things. And what I heard you say, and Marissa, you bring up a good point that I never really thought about before, which is the money part of it. Because if you want to go somewhere, particularly a new place, unless you have some organization that's going to help you when you arrive there, you're often going to have to pay for a companion or support person, and that can be expensive, right? So, but I would think there are organizations, international organizations that exist that would, like for example, if I was, had a visual impairment or, had no sight, I would think that there would be, and I want to go, let's say I want to go to the UK. I would think that there's an international organization I could contact and I say, hey, I'm coming to Manchester, or I'm coming to London or something. Is there somebody there in the organization that can meet me at the airport and get me, and support me for 3 or 4 days? Do they exist?
Not really, no.
No?
Whoa, in Vietnam, of course not.
Wow. So the only way to get help is, what you're saying is that you're gonna have to pay somebody probably to go with you or to meet you. And if it's a stranger, that's a problem because now you have a trust factor you have to think about, right? So if it's a stranger, you might not feel comfortable, right? That's and then also because you're going to new places from a mobility standpoint. If you're at home, of course, you have, your dogs, you have your apartment, where everything's located at, where everything is, but if you go into a new place, now that creates a whole different situation, right? So, wow. I guess I never really thought about that before.
Yeah, and going back to the language thing, Rick, I have a funny story. It involves Christina. We were talking, and I heard her accent. I found out she was Vietnam, so I wrote to her in Vietnam. I know a little Vietnamese, so I wrote to her. Xin chào Tola Jamie. Vietnamese means hi. My name is Jamie, and she was like, "Oh my God, you know Vietnamese?" Yes, Christina, I know a little Vietnamese. I would like to visit there someday, but it gets be like 120 degrees over there, and I don't want to go into an oven. So sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. Vietnam gets very hot and humid.
Yeah.
Singapore, a lot of Southeast Asia,
India.
Southwest Asia does. So yeah, it's very, very. I've been around that area, and it gets very, very, very hot.
Unless you guys have snow, or that's another.
Well, no, they do. They actually, there are some places in North Vietnam it does snow.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are some places.
Yeah, and when all of you like to come to my country, be careful be careful when you when you cross the street. Yeah, you have to be careful because there are many motorbikes and many cars. Yeah.
I was watching. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Wow. Very terrible. So terrible.
I was watching a special documentary about Vietnam the other day, and the host of the show was saying, if you're a foreigner and you want to get the true Vietnam experience, go there, rent a motorbike, and drive around Vietnam.
Yeah.
I think it's just. Go ahead, Jim.
I've also met people on here who travel here because they come from countries who've never seen snow. And I wrote on Facebook the other day, for those of you who come from countries who have never seen snow, it's white, beautiful, but pretty cold. So you'll come here. So do you still want to come here? Yeah. People, yeah.
Very difficult to cross the street in Vietnam, especially in the south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, I think it's interesting that we all come from different countries. Yes. We all have different, physical abilities, if I'll use that word, and it does have an impact on what we can and can't do. And I'm really surprised, Christina and Marissa, that there aren't international organizations specifically to help. I mean, to me, that's kind of crazy. I would think that there would be.
Stupid.
I don't understand that. I guess maybe it's time for me to do some more research or something. I don't know. But But Johnny, we didn't hear from you. Johnny, are you here? Okay, maybe he stepped away. Or Jirkarn, did you want to say something at all?
Okay, teacher.
Okay.
I need to share something to everyone.
Okay.
Actually, I like to traveling in Thailand because I haven't been every place in Thailand yet. And during the times, this is a very good holiday. Yesterday is Thailand New Year's. Thailand calls Songkran's Day. And make me very impressed. This is because I spend my time with my family, and today is my family day, and I have celebrate, have dinner with them and my friends, my sibling, and make me relax and forget about what make me stressed. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so you and Christina are neighbors, Thailand and Vietnam, right? You guys are neighbors, right?
Yeah.
So you said, Jirkarn, you said you haven't traveled outside Thailand, right? You've only traveled inside Thailand, right?
Yes. Last year I have been Vietnam. I was in Hanoi and Sabah, and but I think during that time is terrible weather because everywhere is foggy, so I could not see anymore, see anywhere. I think it's wrong. It's wrong for my trip. Yes.
Oh, that's right. You know what? You said you've been to. That's right. You said you've been to other countries, Cambodia, Vietnam. That's right. You said yesterday or day before that you have traveled.
Malaysia
Yeah,
also.
Malaysia. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've also gone to some.
Laos.
Lao.
I
Yeah.
have been
Yeah.
in
Laos,
Laos
Laos, Laos.
many times.
Okay. Okay.
I have to say, Jerkan, your English is pretty good. Your English is very good, Jerkan.
Well, you said that you traveled in Vietnam last year, right?
Yeah.
So, do you like do you like have you traveled in Hoan Hoan Kiem Lake?
To who?
Hon Chiom, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that like Restored Lake that one with the Emperor? No, Return Sword Lake.
It's in the center of our capital.
Yeah.
Yes, capital. Hanoi is capital in Vietnam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
How it's very near
Okay.
from Hoan Kiem Lake.
So your house is very close to that lake.
Yes,
Christina?
very close. Yes.
So I guess the next time that Jirkan goes to Vietnam, she can pay you a visit, huh?
Yes, I think so. And
Christina, is that Return Sword Lake from the legend?
Sorry?
Is that Return Sword Lake from the legend? You know, where Emperor Lao went to a lake and was given a sword to combat the Chinese?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see.
Well, let me ask a quick question. I want to ask you, Christina. So you said that you've never traveled outside Vietnam. No, you did. No, you haven't. Oh my gosh, you guys are getting me confused. Okay, so you never you guys have never. So Christina, you haven't traveled outside Vietnam, right? You have not.
Yes, I had traveled outside Vietnam when I was
When you were smaller,
when
when you were little.
Yes, just 7 years old.
Okay. So now, because you know somebody in Thailand, right?
Yeah.
So now,
Wow,
if you want to travel to
in Thailand is very cheap.
Yes, it is.
Yes. It's some tours is cheaper than travel in my country.
Yeah. See, there you go. So now, if you want to travel to Thailand, it's close. It's not expensive. Okay.
Yes.
So Jirikarn, you might have a Vietnamese visitor. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, teacher.
There's a lake in Vietnam called Hoan Kiem Lake, or Return Sword Lake, according to a legend. An emperor there hundreds of years ago was given a sword by some sort of god to fight the Chinese, and after he defeated the Chinese, after he defeated the Chinese, he gave the sword back to the god. So it's called Hyong Kam Lake or Return Sword Lake.
Yes, right.
So I guess this is something again, Christina, for you and for Marissa. This is something that to me is of interest. The point you guys brought up specifically, it's something that I think should be addressed. I'm not sure how to address it, but something that should be addressed. So I'm going to look into it. I'm not sure how to do anything about it, but I'm going to look into it. Because I think that people, again, regardless of their, condition or abilities, should be able to have that experience, right? I think people should, and there's no reason in today why they can't. I think, Christina, you brought up the point that, you can learn languages online on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, but
it's more fun than learning from the native.
It's not the same thing as going somewhere and smelling the flowers or smelling the fish market or, smelling the diesel from the motorbikes, okay? The scooters, okay?
And the closest I've ever been to going to China, I've been in New York City and they have a place called Chinatown, which is the closest I've ever been to China. And I speak some Chinese, so I was able to barter with my very bad Chinese for some ginseng. Oh wow.
Okay, Mary's not here right now.
Sorry. I told that story in vain.
Okay,
Well,
yeah. Well, go ahead.
Well, in Vietnam, in Ho Chi Minh City, there is a Chinese town there.
Yeah.
Very big. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Chinese have been very successful in spreading across the world. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
It's hard to find a country without a large Chinese population.
No, yeah.
They've been very successful.
Definitely.
I will have to say that. I don't know about. Let me ask. Okay, so actually, because we have Sunny here, I think Sarah. She said she can't speak. But how about? And we have all the rest of here. In your countries, do you have many people from Asia? So like Vietnam, Thailand, China, Japan. Do you have very many people from Asian countries in your countries? I know Seni or Alireza or Sarah. Do you have many people from Asian countries in Algeria?
Yeah, I was. I'm sorry, I was avoiding to speak because sometimes it gets very noisy here. So we do have Chinese here. They work here in Algeria. They are doing some buildings here.
Okay.
And in every construction field, you meet someone from China.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, you can meet people, especially from Germany in desert. They came here every year.
Okay.
And lately, in the center, in Algeria center, you can meet a lot of people now. They came from other places.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes I can recognize the faces like Chinese, and I can recognize them by the faces, and other people by the blue eyes and other things like that.
Okay. Well, how? Let me ask you a question. So, if you meet somebody, let's say you're in town, and you see somebody that looks like they're from another country. So, I am assuming that the first way that you try to talk with them will be using English, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah,
I would love to meet someone who speaks English. Yeah, I would love to.
Okay, very
No,
interesting.
I'm here. With me, Rick, if I talk to somebody, I find out they're from another country. If I know their native language, I say hello to them in their native language. Like for example, when I first met Christina for the first time, I said, "Shin Chao Chola Jamie," which is a Vietnamese for "Hello, my name is Jamie." And when I met Ricky for the first time, I speak better Japanese, so we spoke in Japanese together, and I'm still learning it. And and I know some Algerian Arabic, so and so washarak to everybody washarak, and learning other languages is pretty cool. And
Well, I think the reason why I asked Sunny that was because when we're in our own countries and we have again, English is usually the common language that we expect to use if we see somebody that may not appear to be from our country. Now, in the United States, it's different because the United States and the UK, it's different because in the United States and the UK, we have a lot of different people from a lot of different countries.
Yeah.
So, but just because they look a certain way, you don't assume that they're going to speak another language.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're in a different country, that's a different story. So if you're in Algeria or Tunisia, Morocco, you would expect, if you're going to talk to somebody, you would expect they're going to speak either French or Arabic, right? You're not going to expect that they will speak English because that's not the common language there. Same thing in Vietnam. You're going to expect that they will speak Vietnamese.
Sometimes you meet people who even speak Arabic. They are from other countries and they can speak Arabic, not the accent Arabic like us, but Arabic, Fusha.
Yes.
That's good.
I need some help with my Arabic accent, but my French accent is pretty good.
So,
what I find interesting, Rick, is that in another country, if they ask you where you're from and you say American, they're like very happy because I think for some reason Americans are very popular overseas. I don't know why.
Well, one day we're going to have to get Marissa to come back and join us, and we're going to have a discussion between the UK and America, okay?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
because it's very interesting, when we talk about people that are learning English in other countries, and of course the common thing is that there's always a stereotype about Americans versus people from say the UK, right?
And being ignorant and all this stuff, yeah.
Yes.
So
right now I can recognize someone when he speaks if he is from United States or
really?
UK.
You cannot.
Yes,
You can.
You can? Really?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can know if he is from the United States or British.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, to me, and it's like for example, when Marissa speaks, it sounds very nice, right?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
Sounds very British.
Well, for me, sometimes English can't help me in some cases. Can't.
Can't? Why not?
Yeah, for example, like I don't remember. Maybe a month ago, I met a foreign student from China, and she asked me the way to the way to go to the different building in my university. Well, he asked me in Chinese. And I said that, excuse me, could you please speak Vietnamese? Wow, and he didn't understand English, and he also didn't understand Vietnamese. So
yeah, I need to work on myself.
It's a
something. It's the same here in Nigeria. We do have Chinese who don't speak. They only speak Chinese, and sometimes when they go to the store and they want to buy something, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But I can give you a tip. If you have an Android phone and you have a the Google Voice, you can speak say in Chinese blah 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 blah, and this way you can communicate with each other.
Yeah,
okay, I've tried this before. It was really good.
Of the two languages spoken in Algeria, for me, French is a lot easier since I studied it. Arabic I know a little bit of, but I definitely need to work on it.
Well, that's something.
Sure.
That's something, Sene. That's something that you bring up a really good point. That these days, because of technology and the types of apps that are available online, if you have a smartphone, it's actually not that difficult now to find a way to communicate. So that's a good point you bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Because it happened to me.
Okay, well, listen, everybody. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. It was a really great discussion, really great. Thank you, everybody.
Shukran.
So thank you, Christina. Thank you, Sene. Thank you, Sarah, for listening. Hiroki and Jirkan and Jamie and Ali Reza and Johnny. And I think Johnny was putting this on YouTube. So if you want to listen to yourself again,
God.
on YouTube.
No.
Okay. But I thought it was very interesting. Everybody did a great job.
You too.
And
Hi, Mom.
we really appreciate everybody joining us and participating.